We're going to move on to some other stuff here. We actually have some DC news, 2 different DC topics to talk about here. Yeah. Warner Brothers declared that the DC cinematic universe is basically dead.
Yeah.
After they had 2 hit movies. I don't think anybody in Warner Brothers would know their head from a hole in the fucking ground.
Yeah.
That is not the saying. It's their ass from a hole in the ground. I became a year older and I don't know fucking anything. All right.
They don't know dick.
Warner don't know dick. I don't understand how you can have Aquaman, which if you ever in a point in time would have told me that Aquaman would have sold out a Batman and Superman movie together in the same fucking movie, I would have called you nuts.
Yeah.
But it worked.
Yeah.
And then you had Wonder Woman, which I'm not trying to be edgy, but I think what helped Wonder Woman a little bit was because it was like the female movement kind of got behind Wonder Woman a little bit. And you can't call me dumb or assholish for that, because that would helped the Ghostbuster remake too.
Yeah. There's
no reason that movie gets a certified fresh from Rotten Tomatoes when everybody says it's the biggest piece of shit they ever saw in the past 3 years. You know, so that helped a little bit.
Wonder Woman, it was well made.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I didn't think I was going to give a shit about anything that was going on in the movie. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Captain America: First Avenger while I was watching it, but it worked for the idea because they were going back to when she first came to us and helped us through like a major event.
Right.
So that made sense to do. You know, having Chris Pine in there, I was just kind of like, you literally could just have edited him out and it wouldn't have fucking mattered. Like, he was just literally there, so she kind of had like a love interest, kind of. Yeah. Like, other than that, there was no reason for him to be there. He could have went to, like, We Bought a Zoo 2 and fucked out of here. Like, I couldn't care less. But, it was still a really good movie. I didn't go see Aquaman because I just... Lately, I'm kind of like, do I want to spend the money to go watch a movie that I'm not 100% sure I'm behind? Because I didn't even go see Into the Spider-Verse, and everybody told me, you should go see that. It's fucking amazing.
Right.
It, like, won all these awards and everything, and I was still like, I don't know. Like, I'm kind of getting burnt out from all this shit now. You know, and maybe that's why Warner's feeling like it might be dead, because it's a horse that's been beaten. Like, I don't even know where Marvel's going to go after they finish Endgame.
But
like,
here's the thing. You're saying that this is dead, but yet there's another Wonder Woman movie coming out. There's another Aquaman movie coming out. There's a soft reboot, is what they're calling it, for Suicide Squad.
I thought they were just doing a sequel.
Yeah, it's going to be a soft reboot with possibly
Idris Elba playing Deadshot.
Yeah.
Because Will Smith's like, I'm backing out. I'm going to be the genie. Ha ha! They're just like, that's probably not a... Did you talk to your agent lately? He's like, why? Did you read the news?
Yeah. And plus there's a Joker movie that does have nothing to do with any of this, though, the Joaquin
Which is
Phoenix
probably going to
one.
be a fantastic fucking movie.
Probably will be. It probably will be. And so it's like weird that they say that it's dead, but I guess...
And there's supposed to still be a Batman movie.
I guess it frees them up to kind of just do separate things. They don't need to tie everything together. They don't need to, like, have one single character go through all the movies kind of thing, like Marvel did. Because they screwed it, they bungled it up so much that they just were like, okay, let's stop trying to fix this.
And I've said that from the beginning. I was like, DC does not need to have a cinematic universe because of the single fact that they literally have tons of great stories, like iconic stories in comic book history. Like, at any point, you could have done Batman Year One and gotten a different director. Like, you could literally cycle through different directors to give you their interpretation of Batman. You know? But have a screening process. If you got an old guy that comes walking in and he, like, wants to put lights on, like, the drum of a Tommy gun, like, tell him to go fuck himself because his name's Joel Schumacher and he shouldn't be allowed behind a fucking camera.
There are so many Batman stories they never touched.
There are, but I I also feel like you don't need to keep harping on Batman too much.
Yeah.
Because...
Well, he has the most colorful villains. The Rogues Gallery, I think he's got the most recognizable villains.
Yeah, he does, but at the same time, like, we never saw Superman fight, like, Brainiac, or...
No.
Like, some other of his other really good... You know, like, they literally could have done a Superman, All-Star Superman story. Mm-hmm. They did a animated version of it, but they could have done a live-action version of it. Mm-hmm. It's a fantastic story. You know, we never actually got the right Doomsday story out of Superman's storylines either, which is a fantastic story. Instead of having him be a cross between Zod and fucking Lex Luthor's blood inside of a giant fucking pool of goo in an alien spaceship, I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
Like, this is why it's dead, Warner, because you're giving the wrong people the wrong creative licensing. And you're not stepping in at any point to try and see if this is, like, the product you really want to put your name on. Like,
and then you do it halfway through the filming.
Yeah, and then you're like, do reshoots. I don't like it.
And then then Justice League comes out and it's super disjointed, and then you're like, all right, I guess we just won't do this anymore.
Yeah. This call-up's like, hey, Henry Cavill, you come over here and film this? Like, well, I can't. I've got a fucking beard and everything now. We'll CG it out. Are you sure? I don't want to look stupid. Oh, we've got the best. Don't you worry about that. He's like, did you literally just put an ass on my chin? What the fuck is that? What'd you do?
Well, I think he just already had decided he was done with this when he started. When we went to do Witcher and possibly James Bond.
Yeah, well, one of the things that I read is that after Justice League, he was just kind of like, I think he said he didn't like how the studio was handling all the properties, and like the filming schedules were ridiculous. Yeah, like he would have parts done, and he was supposed to go off to another project, and like I said, he would get phone calls to have him come back and do reshoots because they're like, oh well, this thing and that, and we didn't. The studio didn't like this, so we got to reshoot that, and he's just like, I can't do this. Yeah, you know. So, and I completely agree with him. Like, you know, at least he has a better excuse than just Ben Affleck being like, I can't stop drinking. You know, like, it's just like, I've been to rehab 14 times, I just can't get away from the booze. Yeah. You know, like...
You're broken, man.
I don't know. Some people just can't handle, you know, anything. But, you know, and to say you're done with this, and then you have, like, these two now rising stars, like Jason Momoa, I found him to be more relevant in pulp culture now than he's been even through Game of Thrones. Yeah. Like, you know, he was there, and I've never watched Game of Thrones, but I know he played, like, a pretty major role in it. But then it just kind of, like, he fizzled. You stopped hearing about him. And then it's like, oh, he's going to be Aquaman. And he was like, okay, well, I mean, it kind of looks like nothing like Aquaman in the comics, but, you know, fine, it could work, you know? He's a guy who's always muscle-bound and everything. That's what you need. Yeah. And then, like, he pulls it off, and, you know, now you see him, like, everywhere. Yeah. Same with... Gal Gadot, like, before she did Batman v Superman, nobody really talked about her much, and she was in movies, tons of movies before this. Yeah. Although her acting kind of sucked before that. Like, you could tell she got an acting coach for Wonder Woman. Yeah. That's the one thing I will say, because in BVS, BS, there was just points where I'm just like, oh shit, that was a really bad read. But we'll go with it.
I could see that to a degree.
Yeah. Yeah. But she did great in Wonder Woman. Oh, yeah. I actually fucking cared about what was happening in Wonder Woman. Yeah. And I didn't think I would. That's the thing.
Yeah. Like, I think maybe that's why I liked it so much, was because it made me like it.
Yeah. Because especially after watching Suicide Squad, I was just like, I have no hope for anything DC's going to do. Yeah. And like when I was popping that in, like my hand's like literally shaking as I'm dropping into the tray. I'm just like, oh god, here we go. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, this is delightful. It's like somebody gave you a really nice light sandwich after you just bit into a turd-crusted piece of crap. You know, it's just like, nice. I love this. This is good. It's refreshing. Yeah. But to say it's dead, it's like, you really need to just stop. Like, if you want to say you're done with the idea of having a universe, fine. Fine. But what you need to do is not completely stop. You can make Aquaman 2. You can even make Aquaman 3 if you want to. You can make Wonder Woman 2. You can make a new Batman movie. You know, if you find somebody who can actually be Superman, because as of right now, I don't know anybody who can actually pull Superman off that's in the limelight right now.
No, it's going to have to be a relative unknown.
Yeah, which scares me, because we went through Brandon Rao once.
Yeah, we did. Let's scour the soap operas again. Are there any left?
It's funny, because I remember, like, one time I was, like, actively looking for that movie, because I was like, I wanted to get all the superhero movies that were ever made. And I was, like, looking for that, and I got it, and I'm like, you know, I didn't hate this in the movie theater. It kind of reminded me of, you know, the older Superman movies a little bit. And I, like, rewatched it. I'm like, he looks like he could not care at all about anything that he's doing in this movie. He, like, literally has points where he's staring at the screen like he's about to get hit by a Mack truck, and his entire deer family as well, in the middle of a highway at a late night. He's just like, I gotta go back. I gotta pick this island made of kryptonite up and throw it into space. Well, how are you gonna do that? Isn't that your weakness? It isn't when it's written that way. Goodbye. He just flies out of a helicopter. And then they're just like, he has a son to Lois that has superpowers, and I'm just like, well, I'm glad you wrote that in there, because it's not gonna go anywhere. It didn't. It was like the end of Super Mario Brothers, the movie. It's like, come on, Luigi, Mario, we got a caper to solve. I'm like, yeah, can't wait for the sequel. So don't give up on this, Warner. You're literally sitting on a gold mine. You just need to get your fucking head out of your ass. Like, honestly. Like, I can't believe you'd have the rights to DC, and Marvel can literally be like, here's a fucking talking raccoon in a fucking tree, and guess what? That just made us $800 billion.
Everybody's like, yeah, I can't give you the money quick enough.
Yeah. We'll make toys out of all this shit, and we'll be fucking, you know, I'm actually wiping my ass with money because I don't know where to go with it.
We will eat like kings.
Yeah. It's like we've got so many fucking storage units like Walter White's from Breaking Bad. We just don't know what to do with all the money. We got so much money that we're making 2 movies that have 45 fucking stars in it, and we're all paying them $18 billion each. You know, it's